everybody, so I'm here today with my October beauty favourites, fails and updates. So it feels like it was only about 3 minutes ago I was doing the other one, which is probably not that inaccurate because I actually filmed it so late, and this time I'm actually filming it on October the 30th, so I've actually made it on time this month, so well done me. And I've got to admit, this month has been pretty much as packed as last month, on top of me going on holiday and on top of me being unwell. So I haven't massively tested everything, but I'm just going to go through everything I have got in a basket in front of me here from this month and see if my thoughts have changed, or let you know if I need to do any updates for you, or maybe just let you know I need to test them a bit further. So let's look at everything that I've tested basically that's significant anyway from this month. So I cannot wait to get started with this. And my name is Hannah if you're new here. I'm 48, I'm not a professional, but I am somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I do upload here several times a week, and I would be delighted if you did subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I really honestly appreciate every single one of you. And that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into the October updates. So the first thing, which isn't beauty related, but I'm going to mention it because I'm just so in love with it, and I've always been a Stanley fan since they launched. Some people think they're ridiculous, some people think they're overpriced. I've been using the same Stanley cup now every single day for a year, so that gives you an idea how much I love it. I load it up with water in the evening, take it to bed with me, bring it back down in the morning and finish it off while I'm doing my first step of filming. Then I clean it up and give it another fill up, and I'm using it then throughout the day. So it always keeps my water superbly cool, and also it means I've got a lot of water. I buy the biggest size, and I had to show you this because look at the colour. They launched some new colours for autumn. The other colour is called Juniper Green, which I was very tempted by, but I went for this one, which is Cashmere. I just absolutely love it. I think it's a stunning colour. In fact, I think it's the best colour they've come out with so far. So I also prefer this. My other cup was the one with the straw, the clear straw that you could take out and wash, whereas this one's got the attached one which you can flip down, which I find a lot better, because I used to find with the straw, because you couldn't take it out, but if I tipped it I used to get water everywhere. So at least with this one, when I'm carrying it about, I can put it down like this. I also find it easier to sip from. I know when you're using straws it's not ideal if you're trying to prevent getting lines here, but I do find with this one, if I show you, I'm still getting lines, but it's not quite as bad. If I was using a straw it'd be more like this. Do you see what I mean? So easier and slightly better. I know a lot of you might shout at me and say I shouldn't use it at all, but it's just so convenient. And I don't like having open cups because, you know, dust and flies and God knows what might get in it. So I like everything about my Stanley cups. So there we go. If you can catch those on sale anywhere. I'm putting this out pretty much on the day. No, I'm filming it on the day that the Sephora sale starts in the UK, but I don't think I'll put it out that day. I'll probably be putting it out on the second day of the UK Sephora sale, but probably on the first day of the US. So anything I mention here, if you can find it in sales. I don't think Stanley's on Sephora, by the way, but you never know, you might find Stanley on sale, because we are getting sales starting everywhere now, so do look out for that. But I have linked it below. I haven't had an email from Stanley saying they've got a sale yet, but if they do, I'll be sure to let you know. And next to a perfume, so this is from Beauty Pie, a company that I don't mention very often, but I've been a member with Beauty Pie for, I don't know, 6 years maybe, and you pay something like £60 a year to have very much reduced prices on everything. And one of the things that I've always loved from them is their perfumes in the autumn. Sometimes their summer and spring ones are nice too, but it's always the autumn ones that really appeal to me. And to give you an idea, I've probably got over 100 perfumes at least, maybe more. And when I went on holiday, I took 4 perfumes with me. 3 of them were Beauty Pie. That's how much I love their autumn perfumes. I'm not saying they're the best in my collection, but when we're moving into autumn, the first thing I think of is, oh great, I can use my Beauty Pie perfumes, because they have the best sort of combinations for me. Although I will admit I tried the orange one. I've forgotten what it's called now, but that launched at the same time as this, and I didn't like it. I found it a little bit too masculine for me, a bit too woody with the orange, and I gave it to my son. So I haven't written that down because I'm not recommending it. But this is the one I love, which is called Figuier de Dalmatie. I'm sure I've said that wrong. This has top notes of bergamot oil, blood orange oil and mandarin oil, middle notes of gardenia and frangipani flower, and base notes of figwood, vanilla and heliotrope. I haven't got it on now, so let's put some on now. So this really does last as well. I can smell it in my hair and things the next day. It's quite strong and has longevity, which is really good. And I just adore things with fig, and I'm useless at saying what I can smell, but I know that when something has bergamot in it, I love it. And I know vanilla helps to give it that bit of sweetness, but this isn't sweet really at all. I don't really know what heliotrope smells like, in all honesty, but figwood is what you're picking up on. I do love a fig-based perfume. So obviously this one's called Figuier de Dalmatie, but it is in the base notes, but I do think that's what you pick up on the most. So yeah, I really do love this. I really do. It's very, very, very beautiful, and I'm enjoying it very much. In fact, I've been keeping it on my desk and I've worn it every day since the day I got it. I didn't take that one on holiday. I actually ordered it when I was on holiday because I saw it was around, and then when I got home it arrived, and I've worn it every day since. So I'm loving it actually. So I've linked that below for you. Now let's move to, where have I put everything? The popular and controversial Hermes Rocker. Look at the state of it. I did try to keep it clean, but I've used it a lot and I've sort of given up. You can still use separate colours. If you saw my review from this, you can still go into this and get a brush such as this to do your eyes. And if you saw I did a shorts reel of me applying this on blank skin. I know there were some people who complained about me trying this on when I already had some makeup on. And if that was you, I just want to explain again why that happened. I thought I was going to film this with a blank face, and then I saw somebody do a swatch that morning and it looked like it was just going to come up as a light highlighter, so I changed my mind and I did a base makeup thinking it will just be added as a highlighter, and I'll put a pop of light in the centre of my lid. And then when I got it in my hands with that base makeup ready, I was waiting for it to be delivered, I realised then that it can be separated and used separately, and I should have done it with no base makeup. So I did film a shorts reel, so you can see that on a blank face. If you were one of the people who really wanted to see that, that was why. But I couldn't that day wash all my makeup off and start again because I was filming it when I had COVID and I was really poorly, and that was just too much for me. So sorry if the first review was a disappointment for you, but hopefully the shorts video has helped. Anyway, you'll see in that video that you can go into this and use this as your, well, this wouldn't be the best brush, a fluffy brush for that, but anyway, this shade for your transition, this shade for all of the lid or just the first 2/3, and then this shade, the horse's head, for that pop in the inner corner and a bit of light there in the first third of the lid. Sweep across all of it to get your rosy glow, and it gives you quite a coral, almost, well, not coral, it's peachy. It's more peachy than it is pink. I think that's something a lot of people are surprised about because it looks, that's not the best swatch, let me get a bit more, because it looks quite pink when you look at it, especially when you first get it, because there's the pink on the top of the horse. But I think the very light pink that you see almost disappears. I'll show you now what it looks like underneath this very dirty horse. The very light pink is fading. Can you see how it's almost a bit darker by here where I haven't brushed it off? So this light pink is going to disappear. So the only pink you're going to see when you get this is coming from this pink here, which is quite a peachy pink anyway. And then you're mixing it with this brown. So when you mix them all together, it leaves you with this, which is quite a peachy pink. More peachy than anything else, I would say. So it is quite warm and it's not a pink. But you can try to separate the colours, as I said, and I did show that in the video. You can swatch them separately. It's quite hard for me to do now when I've made such a mess of it. But if you just persist, you will get 3 different colours. And that's where I thought that it was quite cool, because you can get yourself an eye look and you can use the shades differently on the cheeks if you really wanted to, if you want to use smaller brushes on the cheeks. So it's quite novel then. So I've separated out the 3 colours by swatching the 3 of them here. And you can see there's the pink, the brown and the sort of highlighter. So it definitely separates, and that's how they look when they're all mixed together, and it absolutely works like that. So It does mean you have to muddy up the horse, and for some people that is a little bit too distressing. Once you start using this regularly, like me, it just doesn't look pretty anymore, unfortunately. It's still there, but it's not quite as pretty. It's quite muddy, and eventually I think the horse will sort of splurge into something else, but the colours will stay there. They run all the way through by the looks of it, so I don't think there's any need to worry about losing out on that separation of colour. I think it will still be there, so I absolutely love it. I think it is gorgeous, and I loved it on my eyes. So yes, it was very expensive, but I'm very pleased I got it, I have to say. Not quite as excited as I was by their highlighter this time last year though, if I'm honest, but I still love it. Anyway, on to the next thing, which is the Merit Solo Shadows. I love these in the Sheen formula. So I picked up the first 4 they released. There's another 2 lighter shades. I think it's a gold and a silver, and I did say I'd go back for the silver. I haven't checked if it's available. In fact, while I'm talking, let me check, see if it is, because I think it might be. And if it is, I need to buy it. Let's have a look. Yeah, all 6 are available now. Oh no, I'm wrong. Still saying coming soon. So the first 4 are available on the Merit website anyway, so still can't get the silver. These are, I said, my #1 Merit product. They've gone straight to the top. These are the easiest to use out of any of the products I think I've ever got from Merit, and Merit is always easy to use, but these are beautiful. I'm not going to go swatching through all of them now. Let me just pick one of my favourites to show you one quick swatch, which would be this one, the one that everyone was quite excited about, I think, which is Iris. But these, you get plenty of blend time. They blend out smoothly in seconds. They're perfect for a one and done look on the eye, and they look fabulous. You can add them to a bit of bronzer. You can add them to a matte base, which is something I did try actually, a liquid matte base. So here's Iris. They're subtle sheens. They are not glittery. You won't see any particles. It just gives you a subtle sheen, which is a little bit more of a sort of dressed up look, I'd say, than the first offerings they had, which were all matte. But these are beautiful, and they are incredibly easy. They're mature skin friendly. You get longevity, but I did get creasing. So I definitely recommend, if you do get them, that you put something into the eyelid before you apply it, like a primer or something like the Makeup by Mario liquid mattes. This one's quite good, particularly this shade, you know, which is the Basque, is it? No, Bisque, not Basque. Bisque, which is almost like a skin colour as a base. It's really, really good. So if you have something like that, it does help to prevent the movement in the crease. But if you're somebody with superbly oily eyelids, even with that, you may struggle a bit. But if it doesn't bother you about movement in the crease, then... But it does happen, but it's not too bad. Not enough to put me off, and not enough for me to say I don't love them, and not for me to not want to go back and get the silver. So really, really enjoying those. Now on to Victoria Beckham, which is what I've actually got on today. This isn't because it's maybe my favourite from everything I'm showing you, but I loved it so much, and I haven't used it much since reviewing, so I wanted to use it again. So that's what I've got on today. Quite a simple everyday look with this really, and mostly what you're seeing on my eyes is the main shade, this one here. So that's pretty much over the whole of my lid, above as well, and in the crease as a transition, and just a little bit of these two in the outer V, and this one to line. Takes seconds, blends together beautifully, and possibly one of the best colour stories we've had so far. So this was the Cocoa edit from Victoria Beckham. I haven't heard anyone saying they don't like this yet. I've heard nothing but good feedback on this, so if you've got this, I would love to hear. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's such a beautiful everyday sort of product. But you can vamp it up and make it look a bit more special, I suppose. When I say that, I have used all 4 colours, so maybe you could smoke it up more. That's what you could do. Rather than make it more special, you could make it more smoky by putting a lot more of this in the outer V. But that's not how I like to wear it. But yeah, beautiful. And then onto a blush from Dolce and Gabbana, the Paint Me Up blush. This one is so pretty. I did take this one on holiday with me. I had this week holiday where I ended up ill, but I still did makeup every morning. And if I took it on holiday, it means I really wanted to go back and play with it. So this one is the shade 01. That's all I've got information wise, but these are really pretty. These can be used on cheeks and lips. In fact, why don't I just put a bit on top of my lipstick now? Just that little pop. Maybe it's not showing up enough on top of this colour, to be honest, but it gives a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of colour if I had a lighter lip. Maybe that's not the best way to show it, but very, very, very pretty shade. Very easy to blend out as well on the cheeks. I love it. So you could try it on the eyes, cheeks and lips. So it's one of those versatile products. And they sold out. They launched in Selfridges and they all sold out. So I'm definitely interested in going back for another shade of this. I'm putting it back here with my regular use blushes over here because that's how much I love it. And then from Lisa Eldridge, we had the Sequin Suite in the holiday collection, which, well, they're on my desk and they're not going to be leaving my desk because these are absolutely stunning. I love them. I really, really love them. Do I have a favourite? Do you know, the one I got the most compliments on was actually this one, which is the Kensington Plum. Probably the one I thought I'd like the least, but it's actually the one that everyone loved the most. And I do love it, but I still always want to go for that sort of party look. So I think it's hard to show on the hand, but you can see my full review of this and see me trying them on if you want to see that. But probably my favourite is the pink, which is the Peekaboo. That one is something else. Look at that. But so is the other one. I mean, I could not have decided. So whether I was doing this job to review or not, I would have picked this package up with all three, but you can get these individually. And the other one is Chameleon Chaos. I could read that without a magnifying glass, so thank you for that, Lisa. So here is Chameleon Chaos. This one's got a bit of a shift, sort of pink to gold shift. But yeah, they are so much fun. Really, really fun and beautiful formulas, really thick and grippy. I love them. Quite different for Lisa, I think, and perfect for the holidays. And we also had from Lisa, which are also sitting on my desk, and these are really, really, really pretty. 3 new shades in the Eyeshadow Lurex formula. So, do I have a favourite? I remember saying I don't think I do have a favourite, but I suppose if I was going to choose one above all of them, it would be Rosalie, if I could only buy one. So if you're looking at these thinking, shall I just get one? And again, I haven't seen these go on sale, they've only just launched, but if you do get the chance to get these reduced, if Lisa does have a sale, this would be my top recommendation, Rosalie. This is a peachy pink. It is really, really, really pretty. It does read a little bit peachy on the eye, so don't think of it just as a pink. But then we also had, which one's this? This one's, is it Aria? Oh, I can't read the bottom of these quite as easily, but it is Aria. I'll show you the 3 of them. So Aria is the silver, which is really beautiful. And then we had Celine, and this one is like a dark, almost grey with green shifts, and it shows up differently on different skin tones. For some people, they really see the green. I didn't really see it much on me. It's more of a sort of deep grey on me, I'd say, but with a lot of shimmer. But the 3 of them, I mean, they'd work together. You could wear all 3, you could wear 2, you could just wear 1, but they are so pretty. And they have good longevity, but not longevity in the same way that we get from Lisa's liquid matte, so keep that in mind. But if you want them to last longer, use one of her mattes or something like the Makeup by Mario one I just mentioned and put these on top and you'll get more longevity from them. There was another eye product very similar to these actually from Chantecaille, which I might as well just show you now. And I'm going to actually do a comparison because I'm interested. I want to see Rosalie against the one I got from Chantecaille. So I got Chantecaille's holiday release, and they released, I think it was 3 shades in their eye colours. I've just picked up the one, and this one is called Tulle, is it? Magnifying glass is going to have to come out. Yeah, it is Tulle, T-U-L-L-E. So let me see how similar these might be. They're very similar, but less peachy, I would say. So there's the Chantecaille Tulle, and here is the Lisa Eldridge Rosalie. See, it's got less peachy pink. This one's going to give more of a pop. In fact, these two together would be really nice. So that wasn't very helpful, was it? I'm basically saying get both. Well, I'm not. I'm suggesting they'd work well together, you know what I mean. But yeah, that was really nice. Sorry, that's a bit out of sync now with my order, but I'll get to the Chantecaille blushes. Well, actually, no, I've got them right here, so I can get to them straight away. No, I don't have them right here. I'm going to plough through the whole basket, otherwise I will be going back on myself. So let me just pull out what's next in my basket. So we have here these two exceptional palettes from Dior. So in terms of packaging, Dior has won the award from me as the most beautiful, gorgeous, stunning packaging with this sort of padded top. They are just so gorgeous. Every time I pick them up, every time I look at them, the formulas in these are excellent. They're really heavy and weighty. This is so thick here. It's not like a thin mirror, it's really thick and weighty. This particular colour here, I think is what really blew my mind. This one. So pretty, but it's very warm, so you do need to like a little bit of warmth to appreciate the eyeshadow colours in this one. But that one is just really, really, really pretty. If I just show you quickly. That sort of orangey, corally, sparkle, terracotta-y. I don't know, but it's beautiful. And it works really well with the fiery red blush that I'll be showing you soon. But we had the highlighters, the blushes, and then the lips. Now that I wasn't very impressed with the lips particularly, I also don't like applying it like this, and I think from the feedback from you, most of you would have preferred to have either not had the lip products there or to have had them in mini bullets, a few of you suggested. So please Dior, mini bullets would be not only cute and practical, but probably would make it more popular, I think. And then if you've done your makeup and you just want to top up when you're out, you can take your little bullet out. Wouldn't that be cool? I love that idea. But yeah, in terms of most gorgeous packaging, and one that's pretty comprehensive because you can do most things with this, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I got the little baby version, which is just the eyeshadows. This one's slightly more cooler, so if you were unhappy with the eyeshadow colours in that big face palette, we had this offering, which has much cooler options. In fact, a lot of people got this because of that. It's again, the embossing is very pretty, it won't last very long, but absolutely gorgeous. And lots of people have said to me these formulas in these holiday palettes are actually better than the formulas we tend to get from them, and I have to agree, the quality of them is pretty impressive. Now I've been impressed by Dior all year, I really have, but I can see what you mean. There's just something a little bit more special about these finishes. They've got a bit more pigment, and they certainly look more like the sort of formulas that we used to get in the past from Dior, that really creamy, rich, beautiful formula. So yeah, they were really exceptional. They've blown me away actually, both of them, so stunning. And from Pat McGrath we had Gilded Nirvana, and these formulas, absolute knockout. I took this one on holiday. I didn't get around to using it purely because on the last 2 days I just could not do my makeup because I got COVID on day 3 of that holiday, and it just got impossible by the sort of 5th day to do anything. But I was intending to do a look with this one on holiday because these are stunning, and they are not that sort of chunky, look at that. They are not that sort of chunky glitter finish that we got with the holiday palettes last year or the year before. They are much smoother. Look at that one. Look at it. They are much smoother, much more high quality, a huge step up in quality as far as I'm concerned from Pat McGrath. I think it is one of the nicest things she's come out with in a long time, maybe since Mothership 10 for me. I'd say this is the nicest eyeshadow we've had since then. So yeah, lots of playful colours, but we do have mattes, so there are matte options. Maybe some people would want more, but there isn't a light matte, so you probably do need to dip into something for sort of inner corner if you need that for correcting, or if you need a light transition, there isn't one. I mean, you could use one of the sort of sparkly ones as a light transition if you don't mind having that sparkle in the upper section of the eye. I'm not sure it would work brilliantly if I'm honest. Sorry, I'm holding my wipe from wiping my hand. That's not really good on camera, is it? But yeah, I love this one. It costs less and it's smaller, so I don't think it's too expensive. I think it's a pretty good deal. We get a nice case with this. I think it's very pretty, and also it's costing less than last year. So a lot of people are comparing it to last year. It is smaller, but the quality's better. It's easier to travel with, and you're paying less. So I think it's a win-win, and I think it's a big step up from last year. I picked up a lot of lipsticks from Kiko Milano. These are the One Magic Touch lip stylos, and I have to say it was the packaging that made me fall for these more than anything, because they have these sliders here and then you just do this and up it comes. I just thought it was the coolest packaging ever. But there's a downside to this. I thought they all looked really pretty on. They have nice hydrating formulas. This shade is too much for me though. Which one is this? This is number 11. But they just don't last. They disappear in a flash, so you have to keep reapplying them. And whilst this is super fun to keep pulling out, it's a little bit too quick to come off. So I don't think I'll be recommending these based on that. But the packaging, if you just want a packaging that's fun, and maybe just get one in a colour you like, because it is good fun. But saying that about Kiko, they've since launched their holiday collection and I've pretty much bought it all. And my next filming session, that doesn't want to come off now, is going to be that, so I can't wait to try it all. So do look out for that one, because Kiko Milano does come out with some fabulous products, all made in Italy. Sometimes they really are fabulous, sometimes they're not, they're a bit like up and down. So mostly I found them to be fabulous though, so I can't wait to have a look at the holiday collection. Anyway, moving on, we have the Patrick Ta Beauty Major Dimension Essential Artistry Edit eyeshadow palette. The 6-pan, let's just call it the neutral 6-pan, which if you've been watching my last few videos, I've been pulling out all the time, and this has been on my desk since the day it arrived. It's not left, it's not going to leave. I'm using it all the time. This is great for base makeup. This shade here is perfect for my inner corner under brow cleanups. It's the first one that has ever been, not quite as good as, but nearly as good as my Tom Ford Black Diamond Rescue shade. So I've got an alternative if I run out of Black Diamond, so that's good. Plus this will give me two different base looks if I want to, or just a neutral look with nothing else. I think for me, I always like to add a bit of shimmer. This one is a lovely liner shade. I just think it's perfect. A lot of people have talked about the fallout. There's no fallout with this as long as you tap off your brush, and I use it every single day. I used it today to clean up with this one. I used it today under the brow. I've used it all the time. I love it. But I've also been loving, which also works brilliantly with it, the new shades from Patrick Ta in the duos. Now these are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I did love the first launch, but this launch has almost doubled my love for them, because these shades and these formulas seem to have stepped up. The shades are better, the combinations are better, and the formulas are better, I think. So this one is my favourite. The Slow Burn. If you've just watched my Sephora recommendations, you're probably thinking, oh, she's repeating herself, because I'm showing the same things again here. But this is my end of month roundup, so if you missed that, I won't go and swatch all of them. But anyway, that one is my favourite. Slow Burn. These two together are a look in themselves. I've never really thought of these duos as being looks in themselves. For all of the ones I've had previously have just been that little pop of brightness in the centre of the lid or something. But for me, these are actually looks. But the one palette out of the four, the one duo out of the four, it's not that one. When the Sun Sets, absolutely beautiful, this one. But this one's a bit more warm toned. Nice summery one, I would say. All of them work with the 6-pan in the matte that I've just shown you, by the way. And this one, oh, here's the one that's basically good for doing that extra pop. So this is the perfect one if you want to do something like now, just put a little bit more on top of a look, a pop. See how it's just given me that pop of light? And that's what the other ones did for me. And I've kept them, the ones that launched originally, I've kept them in my top drawer all year, because I love to pull them out to do exactly this, or to add a bit of shimmer across the whole of the lid. Have I got some on my blooming lashes now? Typical. Anyway, don't do this when you've got your mascara on, because now I'm going to spend the rest of my video probably having, I can't see it, but you probably can if I've got out my lashes. But anyway, that's what they're so good for. Also really nice for that inner pop. But the other three, they all have their own looks within themselves. They're not just additional tops. Do you know, I always pull these the wrong way. I don't know if you do that or is it just me. But this one, again, we've got a bit more colour with this one. This one is the Always On Your Mind. All four absolutely stunning. You can see me reviewing all four of these and trying them all on. If it's helpful to you, it's here on my channel, but I am keeping these. I think I'm actually just going to take the four that I've currently got. I haven't got four, I've got 5. I'm saying I'm going to take them out and replace them, but I don't know if I want to replace them. Can I squeeze them in? What I keep in my top drawer, by the way, I keep all the Pop Shots from Charlotte Tilbury. And what else do I keep? I keep the Bobbi Brown. Maybe I'll move the Bobbi Browns out. The Powder Puff Girl ones, if you know those. They are really good though. Maybe I need to make space for these. So, sorry Bobbi Brown, you're moving out of my drawer. Have I got room to keep all of my Pop Shots and all of these Patrick Tars? If I ditch my Urban Decay Moon Dust, which I also keep there, I can squeeze them all in. So that's what's happening. That's my reorganisation for my top drawer. I'm keeping all the Patrick Tars in my top drawer, which should tell you a lot. Anyway, let's move on to another Patrick Tar. It's been quite the month for Patrick Tar, hasn't it? But I've only just very recently reviewed this. 2 new blush shades from Patrick Tar, and these are really, really good. Apart from they're so close together, you might not think it until you've tried them on, but they really don't look that different. So this one, which looks like it's going to be such a light pink, which is the Out of Office. And then we had this one, which I thought would be my second favourite, and it wasn't. And this one is the On Holiday. Let me flip it down. They look quite different, but on the face, if you watch my review, they end up looking so similar. But this one is just a bit better, and this one is actually beautiful. They're both beautiful. I love these formulas, I truly do. And I really think it's worth following Patrick's recommendation of always putting cream first, powder second, so the reverse of what a lot of people do, because it works so beautifully with these. And this one in particular, I just think it's beautiful and really, really good for the sort of looks we're doing now for autumn/winter. So I love those. And then they did come in these duos with glosses, and the lighter of the two was just okay. It just gave me a topper, which is, what's it called? Can I read it? Ice Me Down. I think that's what it's called anyway. So this one's very light, and this really just gives you a slightly sparkly topper, no real colour. But this one, which is called Warm Me Up, this one gives you a lot more in the way of pigment. I really like this one. In fact, I love this one. Even on its own, it gives you a bit of pigment, but it also will make a nice topper. So, oh, it smells so good. It reminds me again. Oh, it's so good. Slightly minty. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be like candy canes? Sugary, vanilla-y, minty. It's so nice. But yeah, you get that nice bit of colour with it, look. In fact, let's put some on my lips. I've not tried it as a topper. It won't show up on this rich lipstick, but anyway. Oh, it's so comfortable. It's really thick and grippy. Has excellent longevity. It really does last quite a long time for a gloss. I love them actually. I really love them. Particularly that one. But they're both staying on my desk to be used throughout this season into probably the spring. What's next? Clé de Peau. Can I find you quickly now? Yes, I can. So the Clé de Peau packaging award would have gone to Clé de Peau, but I do think Dior beat them this year. I do, but these are a very close runner-up. Have I got this lipstick case on wrong? Yes, I do. So here is the lipstick, and here is the eyeshadow. Look at them. They are absolutely gorgeous. Have I got it upside down? No, which way is the right way up with the train? Very strange combination of animals, plants, train going through the sky, but I absolutely love it. It doesn't have to make sense to be beautiful, does it? And then I love the colour story. As long as you apply this priming shade first, which is really important, apply this all over the lid, you will really see this pop. This lilac is so good. But you can skip the lilac altogether and go for a neutral look with these. So you've got yourself at least 2 really good looks. And you can sort of line with this. It's not quite deep enough, but you can. So do watch my review if that's helpful in how to apply it and make it really pop. But it's really absolutely gorgeous, particularly good if you've got fair skin. I think if you're anything more than a fair to light, you might struggle to get this to turn up. I'm not sure. I'd love to know if you've tried it with a deeper skin tone, if it does work, because I honestly wouldn't know, but it is very light. So if you can get this to pop, please do let us know in the comments, because this is all we've got from Clé de Peau this year, and it seems such a shame for people to miss out when it's this beautiful. These are pricey though, but last year these were hanging around. They didn't run out of stock. They are limited edition, but they were around for quite a while, so you might find you pick them up in a sale, so you never know. I've heard of people picking up last year's at a reduced price. And the lipstick, I'm not really a massive fan of this colour. Last year's Clé de Peau lipstick was one of my favourites. I thought it was gorgeous. And I thought this one was going to be quite nice until I tried it on, and it's not as red, and it looks slightly more red and orange there. But when you actually try it, it's got almost like a very vibrant pinky red shade. And it doesn't look good on me particularly at all. And if you know me, I've got a phobia of red lipstick, so when the shade is not right, that one isn't. And a lot of people actually agree. I know you often say to me, no, that looks good on you, but quite a lot of you agreed that shade didn't suit me, so I wasn't a fan of that one. Formula very good, packaging beautiful. I will put it here to use throughout the season. I'm saying that, I bet you I never reach for it. It'll probably just become an ornament. Would I have bought that if I didn't review things? No. But I might have bought it for the packaging, because they are probably one of the prettiest packaging launches we get all year. Anyway, I'm not advising you do that, by the way, because that is stupid of me. Anyway, let's move to Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, the Nature palette. This one is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. This will definitely be going into regular rotation, as all the Ethereal Eyes do with me. I love these colours. They're very wearable everyday shades, and I've said this now a number of times in review that this has got a lot of bad reviews because it doesn't have that same pop of bright ethereal topper shades here, and that's just because it's different. Mario's just given us something different, but they are still essentially toppers, and if you treat them like toppers, it will give you a beautiful look. Use the mattes to give yourself a base, and use these to give yourself a topper, and then you will get the look that really makes this palette come to life. If you try to just use these on their own, they're not going to give full coverage. I mean, there is a fair bit of coverage from these two darker ones, but they are still really just toppers, and if you want these shades to really perform well, put them on top of the mattes. I mean, the quality of them is fabulous. I really don't know why they get bad reviews. I think it's just because people maybe preferred I don't know. I don't prefer the other one. I just think it's different, and I think it's gorgeous. This is the lightest one there, which is this one. This one's a really good one for popping a bit of light in the centre of the lid or in the inner corner. We've got really good matte shades. I've looked at these mattes and they don't compare completely with the first Ethereal Eyes. Some of them are slightly similar, but it's not a copy. It's not the same. You don't already have this if you have Ethereal Eyes 1 or 2, certainly not 2 because that one's Moonlight, but yeah, it's different enough from 1, and these middle shades, they do pop, and it gives you a glorious look, and I think it's very, very, very autumn appropriate. It's got to be one of the nicest autumnal palettes in my collection, so I love this. Mario can do no wrong with me. I love Makeup by Mario. Right, now to the Chanel Le 9 Ombre, which many of you have probably seen reviewed ages ago. I've actually still got a review to put out. I've filmed it, I just haven't put it out yet, so maybe I have by the time you watch this. I'm not sure which order I'll be doing things, but anyway, I picked up 2 of these. They arrived in the UK much later than the US, and the quality of these is really good. This one is the Daring Muse. The way to tell really is the central colour for me. So we have blue as the central colour for Space Traveller, and green is the central colour for Daring Muse. And it's the Space Traveller that has those sort of duochromes, which are down the bottom. Those 3 at the bottom are duochrome. And I would say Daring Muse was my second favourite. I thought when I first saw this come out it would be my first. Well, I sort of changed my mind actually. I thought Space Traveller then this, but Space Traveller is definitely my favourite. This matte here, this red, I thought it was going to be a slightly deeper, brownier red, but it really translates as a true red. A very Christmassy, Father Christmas red, if you know what I mean. Okay, maybe not quite, but not far off. And I don't like it. So that was the matte I didn't like. So I could have done with a different matte, because there's only 2 mattes in this, and I definitely don't want to use that red one. But if you look at the green from the centre there, and this gold here, these are 2 really beautiful shades. And the blue in this one, which is quite a strong deep blue compared to the one from Space Traveller, is really, really beautiful. They do give a very, very smooth, elegant, ethereal finish. And if you're somebody who doesn't like coloured eyeshadows that are too sparkly, that you find them a little bit too much, these are definitely going to give you that dip into colour without being too much, without being too sparkly. And they also have no fallout. I haven't had any fallout with mine. And I'm trying to remember this with the inner corner. Yeah, it's got that slight bit of, I think it's blue. It's got a blue tint to it. Yeah, it works as an inner corner. They are actually really beautiful. I can't knock them. I have felt like they're a little bit overpriced, but as I've said many times now, I did review these directly after reviewing Danessa Myrex, and because that cost less than this, I just couldn't quite get my head around it. But this is Chanel at the end of the day. It's Chanel formulas, and we are getting a lot of products in here for the price, so this is extortionate in price. But then it was less though for that whopper from Dior that I loved. I don't know, I keep changing my mind on this, but I know it is Chanel and we do pay a lot for Chanel. Do I think it was worth it? If I was going to choose a splurge, it would be one of those Dior palettes I showed you, but obviously it's a completely different product. Whereas if I compare it to something like the Pat McGrath, which one do I prefer? I think a lot of you would prefer this just because it's got more of an elegant finish, but I find the Pat McGrath one more fun. I don't know, but I could definitely see me reaching for these, especially Space Traveller. Now Space Traveller is, well, it is, these 3 here are so pretty. We have the lilac, the blue, and this like orangey gold, which is so good. I really, really love them. And you don't have to mix the colours together. I think they very much can be colours on their own. And if you see one of these really bright colours and think you don't think you'll get use out of them or wear them, then you can just use these for a pop as a liner. You don't have to use them as an all over the lid shade. And just get a little hint of colour and then choose something that's a bit lighter, maybe like that lilac. But we did get duochrome, which I don't know if we've had before from Chanel. So we did have that with this one here, which is quite shifty. It's like pink to gold. I don't know if you can see that there on my finger. Maybe I'll show better if I... Can you see that shift? Hopefully you can see that. And again, we had a shifty shade with this one here. This one I think had a hint of green to it, was it? Or purple. Here it is. I don't know, I think it's pinky purple shift. But they're really fun, they are, and for Chanel it's so different. So I'm really glad I've got them. I don't regret buying them. I think my only regret is I probably shouldn't have gone for 2. When I discussed it with Rebecca, I said I'm going to get this one because I like blues, Rebecca doesn't, and Rebecca will get the other. Why didn't I just stick to that? Because I ended up loving this anyway. So me personally, as an investment, was it worth it? I don't know. But anyway, if I wasn't doing this for a review, I would just get Space Traveller, and yes, I would have got it because I am enjoying them very much and the quality is very high. I did also get the Rouge Allure Lac, and I cannot see it on my desk. I don't know where it is, so rather than slowing this video down, I'm going to leave it out. I did get a shade that I wasn't a big fan of, Nebulouse. I don't know if you saw that in my review, but it read very dark on me and almost made me look ill. Some of you liked it, I wasn't a great fan. I did try it again by just applying it more gently and more lightly to the outer edge of the lips and popping a pinky gloss in the middle, and that made a big difference. If it turns up, I will swatch it, but I don't think it's in this pile. I'm not sure how I can't find it, but for some reason, I'm sure it's on my desk. If I showed you my desk, as I often say in these videos, you'd probably have a fit. It is such a mess right now, but I can't see it. Anyway, if I spot it at any point, I will swatch it, but formula wise, it's okay. It's just, I'm just not a big fan of that line, I've got to be honest. Right, now I've come to Chantecaille again. Have I found them? Do you know where I haven't found them? The Chantecaille blushes? Because I've already put them in my top drawer. I shouldn't have done it already, but that will tell you what I think of them, because these are gorgeous. So this is the Chantecaille Eclat Crystalline Collection. So I showed you the eye product from this, and we also got a blush and a highlight basically, but really they are both highlights, or a glowy blush and a highlight. So here is the first one, which is called Cheek Light. And this is the one that is just like a really nice highlighter, and it is a gorgeous highlighter. Very smooth, very sort of natural finish, not over the top, extremely silky soft. It is, look at the formula, it is absolutely sensational. I took both of these on holiday with me and they've already gone in my drawer. I was in such a rush to put them in my drawer to use them. I didn't put them in my monthly basket for review because I knew I wanted to keep using them. And this is my favourite of the two. This one's a radiant blush, so this is like a glowy blush topper really. You can use it as a standalone blush, which I did do on holiday. Oh, it's so nice, it is so beautiful. Here it is. It really is stunning. They both are stunning. So highlighter and blush, but if you're tempted by these, this is the one I would recommend. I really like the packaging, it's very different. I mean, it's nothing, they haven't exactly spent a fortune, excuse the mess it's in, because it does feel a bit like they've just sort of glued some sequins to the top, which I suppose they have. But I just like the effect. I think it works. It's very thin, it's not weighty, it doesn't feel like I've just got something really expensive when you think these cost nearly 100 each. So they could be a bit weightier, they could be a bit fancier, but they still look pretty. But most importantly, the formulas are, they're knockout formulas. So I'm putting the lighter one in my second drawer, which is where I keep highlighters, and I'm putting the pinkier one in with my blushes. So it is going into my blush drawer, but it is very much a blush topper really. So what I tend to do with my makeup anyway is put some sort of cream or liquid blush before I add powder, and then go in with another blush, and that can be enough, just that. And obviously you don't need a highlighter because it gives you enough, and I think it is stunning. Right, now on to YSL. So I have the holiday palette from YSL, Golden List. Look at the packaging, gorgeous. I still can't get my hands on the YSL lip glosses. I desperately want the shade Honeymoon, that pink one. I've been looking and looking and looking. If anyone sees it available for people in the UK, please let me know, because I want that so badly. It looks so good, but anyway, I haven't been able to get it. But this is gorgeous, really gorgeous. It looks so simple and boring when you see it here, but then when you apply it, it's not boring. So we have three relatively neutral shades that don't look anything exceptional. They work together beautifully and they will give you a lovely sort of neutral look. The formulas are outstanding. The silky soft beautiful formulas we've come to expect from YSL. But then the one that I think is most beautiful, which for me didn't have much fallout like we often get from these sparkly toppers they do. This one is not so chunky and fallout prone, but it's so pretty, and it looks particularly pretty on top rather than on its own. But I'm swatching it on its own here, so you can't see how it catches in the light. Hopefully that's going to show you enough. So when I show you like that, you can't really see much, but then it catches in the light. But once you put it on top of something, so maybe I'll put it on top of this one here. So this is when it goes on top, and it just catches. Look what it does to this shade here when it's on top. It gets so much more rich and it looks so beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely palette, and I think anyone that gets it, it'll go with most skin tones. It is a little bit warm, it's not particularly cool, but it's not overly warm either, so I think it's going to work for most people. And I honestly, I haven't heard anyone saying they don't love it. It's really, really, really pretty, very party appropriate without being over the top. And the packaging, some people don't like that squishy packaging they do. Well, this one isn't. This one is a sort of, what would be the word for it? It's not smooth metal, so you've got a little bit of texture to it. But yeah, really, really nice. And I've seen 2 new YSL quads that are coming out fairly soon in the new year, and they look really, really exciting. So can't wait to show you those. what have I got next? I've got the Gucci next. So I am actually wearing one of the Gucci lipsticks today because I really loved these matte lipsticks from Gucci. This is the packaging, which I think is lovely, very, very holiday appropriate. Lovely shade. And the one I'm wearing today is this one here, which is Amber Star, I think it's called. No, it's not. It's Amanda Dusk. That's how well I read the back of that. Amber Star, Amanda Dusk. Anyway, that was close. Well done, me. That's staying on my desk because that's beautiful. The other one I like, but I don't like as much, but I still really liked it. It's just I love the one I've got on today. So the other one is Amanda Dawn. Amanda Dawn and Amanda Dusk. So here it is. These are both superb shades for the autumn. They're holiday launches, but I do think they're very autumnal and probably all year round shades really, especially this one. They are really nice mattes as well. They're very smooth, very mature skin friendly. They really complement the lips. So like I said, I've got that on today. Obviously I've piled a few other things on top, but I love them. I think they're some of the nicest shades we've had so far from the launches that have come out for the autumn. And like I said, they're holidays, but I do think it's very special. We also got this highlighter in this packaging from Gucci. Gosh, I've got powder all over that, sorry. So this one is the Arctic Pink. This is very, very pretty. It's a lovely highlighter. I was almost expecting not to like this as much, I'm not sure why, but I think this is actually my new favourite from Gucci. They do have very nice highlighters, but this one is really pretty and it gives you enough of a pop of pink. Look at it. It's a really gorgeous one actually. So if you like a pink highlighter, this is up there with one of the absolute best in my opinion. It's very smooth, it's not chunky. It is very, very pretty and it is really nice on the eyes. I do like the packaging. I really do like this red. It is plastic. It's not heavy or weighty or particularly posh, but it's not priced in the same way as lots of the ones I've shown you. So yeah, I think it's a very simple release from Gucci, but it's not a bad thing, you know. We don't have to have these massive releases that are so overwhelming from all the brands. So especially when they're really good. So the Chantecaille, for instance, and the Gucci, very small amount of products, but really good ones. So this Gucci highlighter is going to go into my drawer. So do I need to take one out to put it in? I think I do. So I'm going to take out, this is so difficult, you know, when I have to make these decisions. I've got to take a favourite out now and put it away. Oh, wait a minute. I've got a bit of space. I don't have to take it out. Happy days. Let's move to the next one. And I have got Tom Ford's Something Fabulous. If you want to see the full name, please do look in my description below. Lip colour in F5 Rose. This is like leather packaging. Superbly luxurious. Superbly expensive to go with it. And absolutely stunning. One of the best lipstick shades for me of the year. Literally, I love it that much. This formula is exceptional. Very, very, very hydrating. Lovely and comfortable to wear. The shade is just stunning. It's oh, the formula though, honestly, I don't think there's anything quite as creamy and gorgeous as this formula wise in terms of lipstick. Ever. I really don't. Look at it. Oh, it's so nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. Definitely worth going in store to swatch these. I know in Selfridges in London, for instance, you can go and swatch these. So if you get the opportunity to swatch them because they're very expensive, then definitely worth doing that, because it's not a huge range of colours, but this formula is so good. It really is. And I do like that pointed tip on the lipstick. Anyway, let's whiz on. Let's move to the Galan holiday release. Packaging, absolutely sensational. And it is raised. A few of you have asked me, is it smooth or is it sort of that textured raised metal? And it is textured, so it's not smooth. It's hard to get across on camera, but it's not smooth. It is raised. It doesn't just appear raised, but it's very, very slightly raised anyway. So this one is the Ombre G in Stellar Glow 520. Actually has it written on the back, which is good. And these are the shades. I wasn't expecting much from this until I realised it had a silvery shade and a gold. And then I thought, this has my attention because I do like a silver. Now, can you use silver and gold together? And yes, you can. Galan showed us they work nicely together. So these formulas, they're like YSL, not quite as creamy and not quite as shiny, I think. It depends what you prefer. I think in terms of quality, they're as good, sometimes better. The quality of this is 10 out of 10. If you like this colour story, the formulas are fabulous. The packaging, stunning. I just love it. Nothing much more to say on that. If you want to see my review, I really do like this one very much. And it also came with this lipstick case. Absolutely stunning lipstick case. But sadly for me, I got the lipstick that launched with it, the shade that launched with it. Have I written that down? No, I haven't, so apologies. I don't have the name, but I don't like this shade. Again, I like the look of it. This is why swatching in store is so useful, because I did not like it. Again, it was just too pinky red. It looked like a different shade in the bullet to me. Still does. It's just, I don't like it. I'm really disappointed. I'm going to swap it out probably, but then if I do, this refill is gold. So if I use one of my other refills and they're not gold, it won't match up with my case. So is it just going to become an ornament? Probably, which is so depressing. So I don't see me wearing it. Maybe I need to find someone who likes the shade and gift it to them, because I don't see me getting use out of this one. Anyway, let's roll on to Tom Ford. I was going to say the love of my life. I am very much in love with Tom Ford makeup, I really am, and this was absolutely no exception. This was the sister, as I called it, of the Tom Ford Black Diamond. So this one is the more pinky version, and no, this won't give me my everyday shades, but it will give me the best topper ever, which is what Black Diamond has, and so does this. And this one has a pinky tint to it, and it's so beautiful. It really is the most gorgeous topper. Honestly, in terms of fabulousness, the toppers in these are just the best. This only has one shimmer, the Black Diamond had two, so it's got 3 mattes. So it definitely doesn't replace Black Diamond for me, definitely not. If Black Diamond is a 10, then this is maybe an 8, but that doesn't mean it isn't outstanding. The mattes blend beautifully, very easily, and we've got this sort of rich colour, which is like a mauve. Doesn't swatch very nicely, but it works very nicely. I'm trying to neaten it up for you here. Anyway, here it is on the back of my hand. It is a very nice colour story, very wearable. This definitely works as a liner shade more than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be a little bit too reddy and make me look unwell, but it does work. And then, well, for me it has to be all 4 together really. So transition, build up in the outer V, use this to line, and then use this for a pop of brightness down the centre or even across the whole eye and in the inner corner. Beautiful. Not replacing Black Diamond. Do you know, I haven't got space on my top makeup thing here. I've currently got Black Diamond and I've got Tom Ford Nude Dip. I've kept those two. They're the only eyeshadows that stay on my desk on the top. That's how high priority they are. I would sort of like to add this, but now thinking about it, I'm not going to. I'm going to put it into the drawer where I have eyeshadows I want to use again soon, if you know what I mean, and that's where it's going. So still in my desk, it's not being put away. And also from the Tom Ford, which I've actually got on today, is the cream blush, the Tom Ford Soleil cream blush. This is beautiful. So that's the colour I've got on my cheeks today. I love his cream blushes, I really do. And here it is. Beautiful, beautiful shade. I love this formula. It's not overly creamy, very easy to blend. It is gorgeous actually, really, really pretty colour. Very, very easy to work with. I used the Shadow 5, by the way, if you saw my retro review. I used that to blend it out today and it worked perfectly. Saying about blushes, I do have on my desk the other Tom Ford, which I haven't linked below, but I probably should have, because I only recently got my hands on this and did a review of it. And this was the other cream blush that launched from Tom Ford just before this collection, which was a black orchid, and I thought this was never going to work on me. Not the black orchid, the iconic orchid, sorry. And I love this. It's the same formula. and I thought this would never work. When I swatch it now, it probably looks ridiculous, but trust me, applied carefully, this really does look beautiful. So very, very different. But if you watch my review of the Black Orchid lipstick and blush together, really good. I do have the Black Orchid lipstick out somewhere. I'm not going to do my hint for it now. I think it's probably in my lipstick pile over there, but that has actually become a favourite too, and it's definitely a really nice one for this time of year. Oh, I just found that Chanel lipstick that I said I'd swatch for you if I came across it. Sorry, this is very haphazard, isn't it? The Nebulouse, so I'll just do a quick swatch. There's Nebulouse. Do you see what I mean about how dark it is? If you like that sort of vampy, dark, slightly purpley lip look, it just doesn't work on me, so I don't know. I don't even know what I want to do with this one. I might just have to, I don't know. I might keep it and try and use it with other things like light pinks, but I don't know. And in more haphazard reviewing style, I've just found the lipstick that came with the Chantecaille. I've managed to spread the Chantecaille collection throughout this, haven't I? So this shade is Barbary. It's quite big and bold. It is a better shade though than some of the other big and bold shades, even though it is still quite, I don't know, is it that different really to the Guerlain? I think I might need to compare them to decide on that. It's definitely a very brave shade, but I slightly preferred it to the Guerlain from what I can remember. There's the Guerlain, and there's the Chantecaille. It's not a huge difference. Not my favourite of shades, I have to admit, either of them. But I'm trying to be brave, and I buy these colours and then I don't want to wear them anyway. The Tom Ford was gorgeous, but I have found the one that came with the Black Orchid lipstick, which I will show you, and this one is so pretty. So pretty. See what I mean about me and Tom Ford? It is so pretty. I love it. I love this shade. It's so gorgeous. That and that Black Orchid cheek, but wow. Those won't be leaving my desk. Neither is the other one, but anyway. Maybe it has just gone into a handbag. It'll probably turn up as soon as I stop filming. Anyway, I think I've actually reached the end, but for some reason I don't have written down the Dior release, and I don't know if that's because it came into my September review, but I've put it into my basket to be reviewed now. I've also got the Guerlain highlighter, which I've probably put at the bottom because I didn't want to go back to this. I should have talked about it when I did the Guerlain. Again, I'm making a complete mess of this. I do apologise for being so confusing. This highlighter, if you saw me review it, was disastrous. It literally, when I used it with a brush, my whole room was just glitter everywhere. Even on the face it was. I mean, it looks beautiful in the pan if you look at it. It really does look gorgeous. And when you swatch it, it's impressive. But as soon as you start moving it round, can you see all the bits moving round? And here it is swatched. It's just a bit grainy and bitty. One thing I would say is the amount of sort of powder I got from it is reducing with use, so it's improving. It's not quite as bad, but it's still chunky and you still get bits. Like I said, I really hope you can see what I mean from that swatch. I do not want bits of highlight that might travel down my face when I'm applying it. I like it to be smooth. And I had some awful feedback from somebody who said they went to a counter at Guerlain, and Guerlain pretty much accepted that this wasn't working very well, and they were advised, put this on the back of your hand and wet it and make more like a paste and then apply it, which is ridiculous. When you're spending this much money on something like this, you shouldn't have to do that with this sort of product. So I think they know that it's causing these problems. It should be exceptional because it looks exceptional, the colours are beautiful. It's just not smooth enough and it does come out too chunky, and I really am loath to use it. The best way to apply it is if you basically go in with your finger and do what I just did on the back of my hand, sort of get rid of the excess, which is now going everywhere, which is what happens, it goes all over your clothes. Anyway, and then tap on. I've already got quite a bold highlighter on now, so straight away I can see bits on my face even when I do this. Honestly, I think I've given enough of my time to this product. Me and this product are done. I can't stand it, I have to be honest. I really don't like it. When I look at the other highlighters I've reviewed and used this year, this is just rubbish compared to them, I've got to be honest. And when I showed you the Chanel 9 pans, I didn't show you the best of the Chanel collection in my opinion. For some reason it was at the bottom of my basket, so I didn't see it. So this one is Nuit Astral, and this is absolutely stunning. One of the prettiest palettes that's come from Chanel. We had that gorgeous, gorgeous Camellia one earlier in the year, and now we've got this one, and they are both stunning. Same sort of formulas as we got with that one. That one was called Utopia, the Camellia collection, and this one is Nuit Astral. Now, if you're cool tone, this is going to be beautiful, but I have heard some people with warmer tones saying it works on them, so I'm not going to say it does, but some people have said it does. That's not the best swatch there. Let me just swatch it a bit more. That's better. Look at them. Smooth, elegant, beautiful, gorgeous, holiday appropriate, season appropriate shades that really are party appropriate though. I think this is the winner for me in Chanel's launch. I think the 9 pans were fun and they can give you fun looks. They can give you some good one and dones. When it comes to elegant, classy, gorgeous, the Chanel we love, this is the winner. This is the palette to get. This is so beautiful. And if you're warm toned, apologies for me saying that. Obviously the 9 pans will give you more options, but anyway, this one is it's so good. But we often don't get cool tones, so it is a nice change for cool tone lovers to actually get such a gorgeous option. And I absolutely recommend it. It is so beautiful. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not sure if I reviewed the Dior Christmas in the last review because I haven't written them down as something I need to review today, but I've got them in my basket, so I don't know what's happened there, but it's the last thing in my basket, so we will talk about it. And if I repeated myself from a September review, I apologise. But Dior, they've had the best year ever for me, Dior, they really have, and they finished it rather beautifully with these stunning eyeshadow quints. Both are stunning. Obviously this one is my favourite, the more lilac-y one, but this warm one is also stunning. They are so pretty. The colour stories are so much fun. You can take them day to night by just sticking with a couple of shades and adding in others later on. The warm one, which is called, is it Fiery Circus, is it? Yeah, Fiery Circus, well done me, I actually remembered the name. But this warm orangey shiny beauty here, and then we get this red tone as well, which is not over, I thought this was going to be over the top red, but it's not like that red we got with that Chanel 9 pan. This one's a really nice red and it works nicely with everything. Look at them, absolutely beautiful. But then my favourite of the two, this one is stunning, stunning, stunning. Do I prefer it, this one's called Plum Parade, do I prefer it to Nuit Astral? I don't know. Maybe I should swatch the two side by side while we're talking about them. Shall I do that? So there is Plum Parade. Stunning, stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. Love it. You can't really prefer one to the other or choose between them. I would probably go for one or the other though, because they are both sort of cool tones. So Nuit Astral, more bluey purple, and grey maybe, or silver. This one is just a little bit lighter maybe from Dior, because we have this pinky shade here. Honestly, if you ask me to choose one, I don't think I can. They are both really, really, really gorgeous Christmas releases from them both. But next I'm going to look at, and this is the last thing I'm looking at today, the holiday blushes from Dior. And when I went on holiday, I took one of these, and it might surprise you that the one I took was Starry Red, which was the one I thought I might like the least, and I've ended up liking it the most. It's not, like somebody messaged me recently, is this going to be too hard to manage because it's a red? And that does look like it's too much, doesn't it? But honestly, you can apply this lightly or you can apply it like this. So that was me swatching it a lot, but if I just take a little bit on my finger, you can really apply it much more lightly, and then it blends out beautifully. As long as you've got good brushes, you're going to have no problem making this sit very, very beautifully. It's got a lovely glow, and also it gives you that sort of natural flush. Oh, it's so pretty now when I've seen it blended out. This is it blended out. Can you see what I mean? It gives you that gorgeous natural colour like you've been out in the snow or something. Oh, it's so pretty. And I particularly love these. I love the new Backstage blushes since they've been reformulated this year, but these three have more of a glow and they're just more special. And I can actually say that all three are probably my new favourites. The Pink Lilac is probably my favourite shade from all of them. So we don't have a lilac. We have Starry Mauve and we have Starry Pink. This one is Starry Mauve. Look at the glow. They are so pretty. That's just a first swatch. So you see you are getting pigment with them, which is something we're not used to getting from Backstage blushes, but we're still getting the pigment. Even with Starry Pink, you will see a pop on my hand now. It won't just disappear. So this is Starry Pink. Much lighter. This is particularly good for light complexions. This one probably more light to medium, and then you've got the red if you want to go up to deep. But I think you can use all three on light skin, fair skin, because that's what I did. All three of these need a spot in my blush drawer now. Now I've got a problem. Now I have to take something out. I've got here these two from Dior in my drawer. They're not going. That's Pink Lilac and Pink. Unless I replace Starry Pink with pink. I think I might, you know. That's what I'll do. I will take the normal pink out, which is basically the same, minus the glow, which is why it's being taken out. Now, can I fit those in? Please all fit in. I don't want to... Oh, yeah. I am now at my limit. And that is the end. I've reached the end of this really confusing roundup. I apologise for being all over the place. Anyway, I just wanted to go through it as authentically as I could, really, because my basket is sort of as I've been using them, so my memory is like, I know what I've used recently, so it's just better for me to do it that way. But it's been a bit haphazard by collection pieces being here, there and everywhere, so I do apologise for that. But anyway, I hope you found it helpful, and I would love to hear from you if you've tried any of the products that I've shown you in this roundup. If you want any more information on them, and I haven't given you that much information today, please do message me. You'll find me on Instagram at han.beauty101. I always reply to messages there, and I would love to hear from you. But obviously, if you just want to comment on the video, on chat amongst yourselves, I would also love to see you down in the comment section below. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, I'd be super delighted if you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos from me. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here at the end of another whopper, another really long review. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I really hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.